Hello friends, welcome back to a virtual session on Java at Axiom Tech Guru Private Limited. Up till now we had a discussion on data input techniques in Java. Data input techniques, where we had a discussions on scanner, buffer reader, as well as command line argument. To understand about the command line argument, it's an input from the execution area, and that all input goes to the parameterized mains, and the array will store that data, and you can use that array contents in the code. That was the command line argument. In today's session, I am going to discuss about methods in Java. Right now, methods is an extended version of function. First of all, we need to understand the functions. In case of C and C++, or rather in C, we discussed that what is function. It's a process defined outside main process. Right? It's a process defined outside main process, means it's a sub process. Now, why we need to define? Why there is need to define the sub process? The advantage is for repeated execution of a code, right? Function having more advantages. Means, like, let us understand, one process may consist 10 lines, and if you need to call only at once, then there is no need of function to be defined. But if that process need to be repeatedly called, right, then in such situations, instead of repeatedly writing that 10 lines for that much number of times, is always better idea to define that 10 lines process outside and call it up to that number of times. Means, if you are repeatedly writing a process of 10 lines for 5 times, the total lines become 50. Instead, if you define that 10 line process from outside main and call it from main for 5 times, means 10 plus 5, total become 15. Means the 50 line of code, you can shrink it to the 15. That is the advantage you will get, right? Okay, the next is, it provides programming modularity. What do you mean by programming modularity? That is division of main module into sub-module. Division of main module into sub-module. Now, what advantage you will get by defining sub-modules? Okay, one thing, it reduce code complexity, right? It's like, instead of handling 100 line of code, as you divide into the various process, at a time you may need to handle only the 10 line of code, right? So in this way it will reduce the code complexity, right? And then second is define once and call many times, right? Mechanism means, instead of redefining it for many times. It's always better to define only one time and call many times from the code over there. That is what advantage you will get over there. So this is what actually I am discussing about the functions. As I said, function and methods are one and the same thing, but method is it's a extended form of function. Means function is global in nature. It is not wrapped in any container. It is not wrapped in any container. And that's why I am saying it's a global. But what about method? It is wrapped in a class. And that is why it's called a method. And in C++ we are saying it's a member function. Means to process the data belong to the class, the process defined, that is called as method. Right? And means now you understand that the difference between function and a method. What is function? Function is a process which define outside the main process. It is having a single functionality like method, but the only difference is function is global in nature and method is wrapped in a class. Right? Okay. And now there are two types of methods also. One is the static method and second is non-static method. Now, static method means, I'll explain you. Static method means actually method which process static data belongs to class. It's a class type of method. So need to be accessed by class reference, not by object reference. And the next is, right, if you want to access within class, then even class reference is also not required. It means, like if your method is public, static, let's say void f1, this is the method definitions, and if this method is actually belongs to class called as ABC, right? So while accessing these methods, you need to call it by the abc.f1. This is call to static f1 method. And if you want to call within class, then you can even directly refer like this thing, f1, call to static f1 within class. As it is belongs to class and it is the static type of methods, if you want to refer within class, then there is no even class reference required. If you write the class reference, like it will not create the problem. But class reference is required only when you are accessing that from the outside class scope. But if you are accessing within class, if the static method is there, then it can be directly referred or it can be referred by the class name as well. But in case of non-static method, these types of methods belongs to object, not to a class. It is defined to process non-static data, right? And hence need to have object reference while calling. If you want to call the non-static method, let us assume what is non-static means. Actually, if you remove the static keyword, public void f1, if this is the method and it belongs to, let's say, class ABC. Now if you want to call to this method, then you need to create the object ABCD equals to new ABC. Yesterday in last sessions we discussed how we can create the instance ABCD equals to new ABC. It gives a call to the constructor of ABC class, and then the dynamic memory will be allocated to D. So hence D become an object or instance of a class ABC. So while accessing the non-static methods, as I said, it is class reference, it is not a class type of method, so class reference won't be valid over here. In such situations you need to give a call to d.f1. If you are accessing within class or outside class, hardly matters. You need to create the object and then only you have to give it a call to. It's a call to non-static f1. Right? So means right now we discuss like first of all we discuss in today's sessions about function. Function is a process which we define outside the main process. Why we define it? To achieve a programming modularity, define one's call many time mechanism. And then we come to because Java is a complete object-oriented programming language. So everything, entire library is in the format of classes and objects. So actually we need to define the methods to process the data. And what is method? It's an extended version of function. Means function is a global in nature. The difference of functions, function is a global in nature. It is not wrapped in any container. And in case of like method, it is wrapped in a class. It belongs to class. But actually these methods also divided into two types. That is, one is static method, right? And the second one is your non-static method. This static method means methods which process static type of data belongs to class, right? Means like static data means data belongs to class, not to the object. Or rather one can say that static data means all objects will share the common copy of it, and hence it's not a copy of any individual object, it's a copy of a class, not of an object. And to process such data we have a static method. So I will be elaborating this in detail about the static data in the next sessions, right? So as it is a class type of methods, it need to be referred by the class name, right? And if you are accessing it within class definition, there is even not required a class reference as well. And non-static means actually this type of methods are actually belongs to the object. To process the data belongs to the object, not to the class. It means it is going to process the non-static data. So you have to remove that keyword called as static over here, right? And it become non-static. But in such situations, while giving call to such kind of non-static methods, you need to create the instance firstly and then give a call to. Whether it is you are accessing within class or outside class, in both the cases you need to create the instance and then only you can give a call to it. Now let us discuss examples related to the static and non-static methods. First of all, let us have a discussion on demonstrating static methods. Right? Let us discuss. I am define a static method. To find factorial of a given number. Let's say we are importing java.lang.star and we are making input with the scanner, maybe java.util.star. Now class demo static is a class I'm writing demo static. Now here is the main. First of all, I will develop a static method for processing the factorial of any given number. For that reason, I will write the method over here: public static integer. It's a factorial identifier. Public static integer facto is the name of my method, and it requires one integer argument. Right? So now let us understand the prototype of this particular method. Public means its scope is public. You can call it within and outside the class. Static means I have already explained you that it is defined for processing static data, none of the like object reference required to invoke it, and it return type is integer. Name of the method is facto, and it is accepting integer type of data. Then you define the process for factorial. Process for finding factorial. Int factorial means you know that factorial means n factorial equals to n into n minus n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 up to 1. Means you have to reduce the value of n to 1, and their multiplications multiplied value will be the factorial of it. Just for example, if you want to find out the factorial of 4, that is 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, right? That is 24 is the factorial of 4. Got my point clear? Okay. Now here means as I have to hold the multiples, I will initialize f equals to 1, because if you initialize it to 0, then anything multiplied by 0 is 0. So that's why I need to, as I am holding the multiplications, I need to initialize f by 1. F is the resultant factorial. Then I will set a loop while n more than 0. Means still the value of n remains 0 or remains more than 0, because you have to reduce the value of n up to 1, right? Then f into equals to 1, which is the short form of f equals to f into n. It's like whatever the value of n, you multiply to the f. Now here in this case, if your input is 4, f become 4, and then n minus minus. This is the short expression of n equals to n minus 1. Reduce the value of n by 1, and finally it carry on. It continues till the value of n remains more than 0. So every time the 4, then 3, then 2 into 1 get multiplied to the f. So finally, if you want to find, if you are finding the factorial of 4, it becomes 24 by continuously reducing the value of n by 1, and finally the resultant value will be written f. Clear? So this is what I am having a definition of a factorial. Then I will move to the main, and here I will firstly create the object of a scanner to make an input. Then I will ask the user to enter the number. And then that number I'll be assigning to n, and here I need the factorial. So system.out.println number value is n and its factorial is. Now I know that we find out the factorial, we have a method called as factor, and it's a static type of method, right? So I can, as it is a static type of method, it has to refer by the class name. So I will write demo static dot factor and pass on the value of n as an argument, right? Number is n, and to want to find out the factorial of a number, you are giving called the factor method, but factor method is actually belongs to the class and the static type of method. So you'll be passing it on the value of n, and class reference is required over there. This is your end of main, and there you need the end of class. You can make a comment if required, end of main, and here is end of class, right? And you save your code. Okay, in the Java test itself by the name demo static.java, and you switch to the command prompt to compile it. And d colon Java test is a folder. First you switch to d colon Java test is a folder, and then you write Java. What is the name of the program? That is called as demo static dot Java. And so it successfully compiled it, and if you run it, Java demo static, right? So enter a number. If you input 4, it will give you the 24, and if you input 5, it will give you 120. Number is 5 and factorial is 120, right? So here in the main, once you input a number, that number's value you are passing it as an argument to the factor, or give a call by the class name and factor, as it is static method over there. But as one thing I discussed that, as right now here we are giving call by the class name, that is okay, as it is static method. But if static method is defined inside class, in the same class, right, and you are accessing from the same class, then there is no need of class reference also. You can directly give a call to it. As it is a static method and it is belong to the same class, there is no point to even give a class reference as well. Let's test this. Then you have a Java demo static, and run the code. Here again, you get a number. Factorial of 6 is a 720 over there. You understand the things well about the static. What is static method? A method belongs to class which is static in nature. It is designed for processing the static type of data. Static type of data means data belongs to the class, right? And here I had given you the definition of a facto method, which returns integer and assign and get the your n as argument over that. As it is a factorial method, so it accumulates the multiplications. So the factorial variable need to be reached by the 1 until the value of n remains more than 0. You multiply it n minus minus, and finally the resultant value will be returned to the calling area. And here you input the data, and then you give a call to it. As I said, it's a static type of methods. There is no object reference required. and so you can your class dot method name and then pass on the values over there. And if you are referring to the same class, then there is even not required the class reference also, right? Hope you understand the things well. Okay, now let us make the same. Okay, we'll go with a different example. That let us demonstrating non-static method in Java, right? We'll define some different method like a non-static method to read a number and find 10 multiples of it. Right? Means you have to input one number and you have to print 10 multiples of it. For that reason you are writing a non-static method. Right? We already discussed about the static. Now we are going to demonstrate the non-static method. Import java.lang.star, right? And import java.util.star if you want to input from the scanner. Yesterday we already discussed about how to input from the filter as well as from the command line as well. I'm going to write a demo non-static in the class. Now first of all, we are planning to develop a method which will read a number and find the 10 multiples of it. Let's design it firstly. A method, a non-static method to find 10 multiples. Public, right? You are not supposed to write the static now. The reason is static methods can only process static data, and it requires the class reference when calling it over there. If you want to define the non-static method, then public void, maybe your multi is the name of a method name and it requires a number as an argument. And then here you need because you want to generate the 10 multiples of a given number. So you better way set a loop over there, int1 I equals to 1, I less than equal to 10, I plus plus. Why you are defining why you are defining multi-method as a void type? Because in the previous example we defined the method facto as an integer type over there. The reason is simple. The factorial it was returning only one resultant factorial. As you know that function can return only one value at a time. Function can return only one value at a time, and here in this case we are generating the 10 different multiples. So as your functions cannot able to return 10 different values at a time, hence it's better idea to define as a void. Void means valueless return, don't return. You can generate the values here only and print it there only, right? Okay. So here if I can write system.out.println, instead of returning that, system.out.println n, the value of n, into I, the value of I equals to the expression n into n, right? And don't ignore here because it's a void method. Then you go to the main and then you create the object of a scanner. S equals to new scanner system.in, right? You ask the user to enter a number, and then that number equals to sc.next integer, and then you are giving a call to the because you have to generate the multiples of it. So as your method is a non-static method, you need to create the object. So you cannot directly give a call to that method by the class reference. So you create the object demo static, demo static, non-static, DNS equals to new, give a call to the principal, and then DNS dot multi, and pass on this n as an argument. As this method is returning nothing, so you have to give a call like this, right? Call to non-static void multi, right? If it is returning some values, then you have to assign some weird, like int n equals to, in the previous case we are calling it directly in the system.out. That is a void method. It needs a call only, and it's a non-static method, so you need the object reference and then give a call to method and pass on the value. So the call goes to over here, and it is going to generate the 10 multiples of any given number. Let us test this. Okay, I'm going to save it in the folder, and then again java demo non-static .java, and then java demo non-static. We are enter a number again. If you enter number 5, it will print the 10 multiple to 5, 5 into 1 equal to 5, 5 into 2 equal to 10, and likewise, right? If you enter the number let's say 10, so it will develop the 10 multiples of that 10 over that, right? So hope you understand the concept between the difference between static and non-static, right? Because static method actually defined to process the static data belongs to class. So while calling it within a class, there is no class reference also required. If you are calling it from the outside class reference is required. And non-static methods means the methods which are belong to object, not belong to class. So hence it has to be called strictly by giving the object reference. You cannot, if you try to call it by the class name, so it will say a non-static reference to or static reference to non-static data. This is kind of errors will be get over there. So to create the object, you have to create the object like this and then give a call to that particular method. Hope you understand the difference between the static and non-static method. Today's agenda is to discuss about the functions, programming modularity, division of processing logic, into like separate from the main to the method. Right? I already explained the difference between the function and the method. Right? Method belongs to class. It's wrapped in the class. But there are two types of methods. One is static method and another is non-static methods. Right? So we'll try to solve some assignments by writing the static and non-static methods into my sessions. Right? That's it for a time. For the next sessions, we'll again resume back again. Right? Thank you.